My name is Agnes Musau, and before I started Drug Fighters, I was in Kibera selling vegetables. I was working as a house help at the age of 9 years. I wished to go to school. I wished a well-wisher will come forward and help me to get education, but I never got that chance. So I was with that bitterness. I never felt bitter that I was to work. But what the bitter I have, and I always had, is because of how people treated me. As a child, I expected people to understand that I'm a child. But people took me as a mate. While I was selling vegetable to try to put myself together, I could have seen many children suffering, especially girls. And because I had that heart from the word go, what I can do to fight, I had what we call the bitterness with people who take drugs and alcohol as a result of not taking their children to school. That was in my mind by that time, at that young age, because of what I went through. So one day I went and asked this woman if there is anything that we can do to help children. So we started, and we fed, the first day we fed 45 children. They shared very sad stories about what they go through and all this. And we continued. After 3 months, the woman called me and told me, these people are tired and you are going to be left alone. But because I can see the passion that you have in your heart, never close this thing. Never say that you can't. You will go up and down, maybe alone or with 3 people, but never get tired. I see the life of children being changed. Our motto is restoring the lost hope of the young people. So when I see them being children, it keeps me going every day. So that keeps me going. There is nothing else. I don't need anything else. I want to see the life of children being changed.
Indeed, she is still going, changing those children's lives one day at a time, despite a lot of challenges. This morning, I'm joined by Furnace Kiruba, one of the beneficiaries from Drug Fighters, and of course, Agnes Musau, who is the founder. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Agnes, your story is very inspiring. And for me, what I'd like for you to tell us is a little bit about your own childhood. You've mentioned in your feature that you started housework at the age of 9, so you lost a lot of your childhood, didn't you? Tell us how you overcame that, and to date are now helping other children have a real childhood.
Yeah, as I said, my name is Agnes Musau, and I'm the founder of Drug Fighters and Counseling for the Young Generation, and I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
As I said, my childhood was very hard. I didn't enjoy any of my childhood. And but I'm happy that I'm doing something for children. I was born in both two parents, but at the age of 7, they separated. My mom went her way and left us behind. After 1 year, she sent someone to come back for us, and because she was in Naivasha, that is where we went. And we started our life in that slum called Kihoto, which is a dangerous slum in Naivasha. And that is where I started my life at 9. I started working as a house girl at that age.
Yes.
My mom could not be able to take me to school. There were siblings with that. We were 9 of us, but my mom was with 6 of us.
Okay.
3 of us were at least a bit, not very mature, but they had left. We didn't know where they went to get employed as some taking other people's kettles.
Okay.
And it is the hardest thing that a child should go through.
Indeed.
And because what I realized is you can even take a child and make her work for you, but also take her as a child. You know?
And that's the thing, you said you were never accepted as a child. They looked at you as a maid, and you missed out on opportunities every child should have: access to healthcare, access to education, you know, having a family around them. And to date now, you're helping girls like Furnace, who have also gone through the same thing. Furnace, tell us your story. How did you and Agnes meet? What happened to you?
Okay, at the age of 7, by that time, I didn't know much. Then she had already started a school just behind our house. Then I and my 2 siblings, we used to go there. That's why we got our food, our meals every day. And so as the days went by, one day just my mom woke up and told me, we have to go somewhere. So I never knew where we were going. And because of that respect that I had for her, I had to follow her. But unfortunately, I never thought I was going somewhere horrible. And when I reached at that place, I found some people there, some few people, and I was directed to a certain room where I was told to clothe, and then the process went on. See, now that
You're talking about the process of female genital mutilation, which
Then-
happened to you at the age of 7,
yeah.
with your mother's knowledge. Okay.
Then after that, after I came out of that, let me see, the clinic, I went back home, and then after 2 days, Agnes, my mom, started looking for me,
Okay.
and she asked my siblings where I was. Then they told her she's in the house, she's sick. Then she took a step of coming to check what was happening to me. Then I told her what happened, and there she decided to take me to Nairobi Women's Hospital, where I was checked, and thereafter she was able to look for some people who could help me. I was taken to Save a Children's Home, which helped me a lot to forget and to focus ahead, to mind about my future, to forget what happened to me. So she really helped me a lot till where I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. I'm sure it's not easy, but
Yeah,
for the last couple of years, Agnes has helped you become the woman you are today.
Yeah.
Agnes, tell us about the ladies and the young girls that you meet. And because your focus is in Kibera, and you've been doing this since 1997, 98, and feeding children and taking care of them and helping girls like Furnace be confident and grow into successful young women. Tell us about the struggles of the young girl in the slum area.
Indeed, it's horrible. As I said, as a person who went through many of those steps and challenges, I know how it feels. And I know what they go through. Whatever you hear, most of the people in the slum, they need a lot of education. When they hear a girl is raped behind their shandies, sometimes even they hear them crying inside that shandies, because you understand, you can even hear, and if you want even to see, you can see what is happening in that room. Instead, they start laughing. Women make fun of those girls. As young as the last case that we rescued was just last month. A 12 years old girl was kidnapped, hijacked, locked somewhere in the house, and being defiled for 3 days. It was horrible. The case is still there, and it is horrible, you know. But what makes me wonder all the time, there is someone behind that, you know.
Is an adult who is very aware.
Yeah. And I don't know how they think. I don't know how they feel about it. But the girls in the slum, not only girls, but children in the slum, they go through a lot of things that no human being should go through that, should face those challenges.
Right.
Every day there is a more than 3 girls, 5 girls raped in that area. Every day there is a many children who are going out without food. Every day there is a child somewhere who is being forced to traffic drugs.
Right.
Every day there is a horrible battle on a child somewhere in the slum. This is happening not only in the slum, but in the slum is worse. But what are we doing? We keep saying we don't have money. I keep telling me people, it's not about money. It's not only money that can change someone's life.
Right.
We started in the slum. I myself, I was living there, raising my son, selling vegetables, just in a small kiosk inside the same slum.
Yes.
Every morning I wake up, I select the spoiled fruits. You dump them because there is no dumping. You just throw them on those
Hapo kwa njia hapo.
hapo kwa hizo mitaro zinapitisha takataka. And then immediately unaona mtoto anatoka huko mbio anakuja anachukua hiyo. It feels bad because especially when you know how it feels to lack something and just to be depend on what you can get from that drainage.
It's a tough life
It was
for a child.
always disturbing me, but in a bitter way. I was so bitter in my childhood until the time I started Drug Fighters and I saw it peaking. I think is when everything went. I didn't even know how it went.
But because you were helping other people, all of a sudden one day you started
It just
feeling
went.
better.
It
Good.
It
That's a good
went,
thing.
and I'm so happy. I'm a very happy woman.
Yes.
I smile every day, especially when I find myself, I have rescued a child, I have taken the process, she's still there, she's getting her education, she's a child, she's enjoying her childhood.
Like
I
Furnace.
become happy.
Like
I've been
Furnace.
I have been having her since that time at
Since
the
she
age
was
of
seven years
I
old.
stay with her in my house. She's not in the center.
Okay.
She was my first rescue.
Yes.
So after the case processed and went to the court and everything, and went through the children's home where she could come during the closing, it's in my house because
Okay.
there was no safe hat. So I'm
Furnace,
happy.
tell us about what it means for you to have had an angel in your life like Agnes, who rescued you from a horrible situation, and tell the Kenyans who are watching about the reality of what goes on in Kibera for young girls who don't have Agnes. There are many girls there who don't even know she exists,
That is
right?
true.
Yeah. Okay, to me, she's just a big blessing to me, because if it weren't for her, I could not be here actually. I treasure her, even if she's not my real mom.
That's beautiful.
I do appreciate her very much.
And for the reality on the ground, for what is happening in Kibera, and for what girls are going through, there is a flip side to that situation, which is why you started the fight against drugs and alcohol. Because for young girls who make, like Furnace, who may go through that kind of situation, chances are if they don't find Agnes, they'll end up being a child prostitute. They'll end up getting into drugs. They'll end up, getting into alcohol. Some parents actually abandon their children, abuse their children because of drugs and alcohol. Agnes?
Yes, that's why we started Drug Fighters. As I said, I didn't give you a short story about Drug Fighters. When we started Drug Fighters, we focused on those women who we brought them in. It wasn't easy by that time, especially in the Mashimoni area. That's why it's called in Mashimoni. I was told by those people who were there in Kibera before that name started in 1975 because it was a dumping place of everything, not dusts.
Yes.
But all the drugs, they were to be dumped in Mashimoni because many police could not reach there. So we found them there because many girls were being sold by their mothers, as well as they are selling the drugs, the changa. They introduce these young girls at the age of 9, 12 to sell to their customers. Their customers are happy touching them, doing them. At the end of the day, they pay the mother, they go with the children. they sleep with the girls.
State of affairs. Hold that thought, Agnes. I want you to continue with that, but I believe we have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I wanted to ask,
Yes, Emily?
people, when they finish that schooling in where the woman does,
Say that again, please, Emily.
I'm asking
Yes.
people like furnish,
Yes.
or when they finish their education, like, do they come back and help the home, or do they empower other girls to help the home?
That's a good question, Emily. Thank you so much for asking that. Empowering, Furnace now giving back to the younger girls. Furnace, that's a question for you. Go ahead.
Okay, so for me, now since I'm informed too, I'm really working hard because I want to be a lawyer. I want to fight for girls, especially that thing called FGM.
Yes.
It's really bad. I don't like it at all. Like, there's a day I was watching news with my mom here, like in Moyale, they're in South Somalia. This case of IGM, it's got a very high percentage, and I'm really struggling for that. I want to make sure that these people, they have abandoned that custom of FGM, because I actually don't want to hear girls going under FGM because it's really painful for them.
Are you in school right now? You're 17 years old.
Yeah,
So you have 1 more year?
no, 3 years.
2 years to go and you're done. And immediately after that, your mission now is to become a lawyer.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I definitely think you will. You're
Thank
definitely
you.
a driven girl, and I think you will. You were telling us about now these young girls who get into drugs, get into alcohol, really get defiled at a very young age just because of circumstance, with their moms actually knowing what's going on. Agnes, tell us, when you meet these girls at the initial stage, what it takes to rehabilitate them and take them out of that cycle, because it's a life they've gotten used to.
What the child needs most is trust and feel that love, that tender touch. And every human being can tell the person who is true, who is giving them true love. I just come to realize that children, they are very easy to recognize who is giving them the true love, and whom they can trust. And wherever they trust you, and now from there you start the process of counseling them. First of all, you start telling them there is a future in life. And I always give them my own story. I tell them, especially now, the ones that I found them now, when I'm already started the drug fighters, there is a home, there is a everything, because they think that it was there. But for her, I don't have to tell her anything, because we were living with her in the same 10 to 10 room in Kibera. But for those who are coming in now, I have to make sure that they understand I was here. I know what is here. I know I went through a lot. I went through the same thing that you are going through. Can you trust me? When they trust you and they start feeling that love, definitely that child is going to tell you ABCD. When they tell you ABCD, was what you do is to be confidential. And then from there, you ask them what they want. You don't give a child who can talk what you think. Even if you see them without clothing, don't assume it is clothes. Don't assume because they are picking that food, it is food.
Yeah.
The starting of food is not because I saw them picking, but because I brought them together and asked them, what is the problem? What do you want? And the major group was to say, our problem is food. The second one, that when we get cut by those bottles when we are walking around, no one to take us to the hospital. Next step was school, of which drug fighters was not found to start a school. It was a rehabilitation. It was to integrate children to the other schools. Our first group of 45 children, we took them to different schools, but only 2 survived. In the period of 3 months, all the rest were back on the street.
Really?
And I went on to know why. And I found that in our government school, I really appeal this to the government to train our teachers on how to handle, if we really want the pre-primary education to work, to handle the special children. I remember one child who was called Robbie, was a girl. she was telling me, because most of the time they were to sleep without food, spend the night without food. They wake up in the morning, they go. In government school, we are interrogated. They go, they found you have sent your child with a pact. What do you expect Ruby to do?
Exactly.
In the break time, she will wait you before you sneak out. She's in your box. She takes the food, she eat. What will you call her as a teacher?
A thief. And she's a hungry child. I believe we have another caller on the line, Agnes. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm good.
Nelly, sorry. You have a question or a comment, Nelly?
A question and a comment.
Go ahead.
I'd like to comment that you're doing a good job, first of all,
Yes, she is.
Agnes. And then I'd like to ask if someone can help you up with your project, like helping the young girls. How can someone join you?
Okay, like a volunteer. You'd like to volunteer, Nelly?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. What do you do, love?
I'm a sales girl.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Now, that's something also I wanted to talk about, and Nelly has really hit it on the head. The kind of challenges it takes to feed these children, to house them, you know, to make sure that they have all their basic needs in order to just go to school, get a good education, has been an uphill battle, but you do have some help, don't you?
Yes, we do have some help. We really thank, we have some individual women who contribute a lot. We really thank them wherever they are, they know themselves. And we also thank some local NGO like Ala Vida. She said she's in Form 2.
Yes.
Our first lot of class 8 that we started from baby classes in Form 2. And they are there because there is an NGO called Ala Vida that gave us the first money in 2011 when they finished. And we take them to secondary, not only to secondary schools in Kibera.
Right.
We can't take to educate them in Kibera, then we take them there.
Right.
Some are in Merus, others in different area in the country, in big school, provincial schools.
Okay.
And we depend on many well-wishers and volunteers. Volunteer your service, volunteer your counseling service, your teaching service, whatever you have, just come and volunteer. And don't think that it's very small to give. That small that you think it's small is what can make a difference.
Absolutely. Okay, so, I believe we have another caller. Fanis, I have a question for you, but hold that. Good morning. Thank you for calling AM Live.
Hello.
Hi, Viola. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, Agnes. Awesome story.
Yes.
I love your story. Check the talent. So I was asking Kobe has asked that question, but I had it in mind.
Okay.
The challenges you are facing, raise up these children, having in mind they are brought up in different societies. Thank you.
Thank you, Viola. Wonderful. Thank you. Fanis, maybe you can talk about that. How was it for you as a child living with Agnes and integrating with other children who've been raised in different homes, come from different cultures, have different problems?
Okay, for me it's quite a big advantage because I'm able to interact with most girls. I'm able to tell them my story. Maybe some have passed what I've passed through. So I'm able to talk to them. I'll tell them that they should not be afraid of anything. They should be able to say no, especially to FGM, because it will give them a lot of problems when it comes to, giving birth. Maybe it can lead to getting of STDs.
Right.
Yeah, I do encourage them. I tell them to work hard, to be lawyers like me,
Right.
where I'm dreaming, so that they can educate people, try to specialize in what is making these people to take their girls to have FGMC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we're running out of time, but one thing that I want to talk about, Agnes, and maybe also, Fanis, you can come in on this one, is the mothers that, give up on their children, the mothers who believe that it's okay for me to go ahead and let another adult do what they want to my child because we're hungry, because I can't get work. What can you say to those mothers?
I think there is no love that you can give your child like survive with them no matter what. So no matter what your children are, no matter what problem that you are facing, please make sure that you are there for your children all the time. You are there for your child. In fact, for Fanny, she forgot to tell you, she's not alone in drug fighters. The entire family has sibling in drug fighters.
Oh,
they
really?
stay there, they live there, it is their home, it is everything.
Okay.
Not because they don't have a mother also.
The mother is well and alive.
Yes.
Fanes, I mean, how does that make you feel to know that your mother is alive, she's there, but there's a disconnect between her children and yourself? If you were to speak to her today, what would you say?
Okay, first, before I tell her anything, I would just like to congratulate her because there at the beginning she used to take alcohol, but nowadays she goes to church, she has
Okay.
stopped drinking. Now, I do appreciate her. She appreciates me because even if we are distant apart, I just tell her thank you, and she continues being a good mother. Yeah.
Forgiveness is very important, ladies, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is what we
In-
do.
in
We
all you
reconcile
do.
them and forgive.
You have to.
We reconcile them, we forgive them. That trust and what do we call, protection is
Yes.
what is not there. In fact, we reconcile her and the mother immediately when the mother came out of prison.
Okay.
She was not with me. She was in a, as she said, we took her out for other children's home, and I took the mother there. I remember that day we were refused to enter the children's home, and we did a crazy thing because we forced Fanny to climb and jump out of the
No way.
and we went to a hotel somewhere because I just wanted her to meet with the mother.
By
and say,
any means necessary.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I believe that I wanted the mother to hear what the mother will tell the child,
Right.
and they forgave each other, and they were happy and praised, and we prayed, we ate together, and we took Fanny's back again and cried and made her.
Ladies, thank
It
you
was
so
crazy.
much for being here. What we're going to do is we'll go ahead and put Drug Fighters contacts on our social media platforms. Agnes is looking for help. She's looking for volunteers. If you can come out and help these young people who are our brothers and sisters, okay? We shouldn't wait for foreigners to come to this country to help people that we can, right?
Yeah, especially in food. This
Exactly.
year I can say we have a challenge of food.
You just
Whoever
need to
has
feed them,
food,
yeah?
We have to feed them. That is a major program. Feeding. Please, whoever has food, come forward.
And how many do you have?
Children,
Yes.
300.
300 children. That's, one woman, 300 children. She needs our help. And this is why she's here this morning. We have to help her out. Her contacts will be on our social media platforms. Reach out and help these young people. This is our country. Thank you very much, ladies. I'm going to make you smile, okay? We do that a lot here on AM Live.